Who could replace Joe Biden as the 2024 Democratic nominee? Well, again, it's not in the bag for Kamala. I think you have to see her as the presumptive favorite right now, but it's not in the bag for her. So let's see. So we know about Harris. We already know, blah, blah, blah. Governor Gavin Newsom of California, Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan. Then you got these guys, J.B. Pritzker, Andy Beshear, Wes Moore, Amy Klobuchar. Klobuchar, some people have heard of. You got to understand, like, most people in any Western country really aren't paying attention. You know, parts of the population that don't even know, like, who the leader is, like who's leading the parties, right? Booty Judge, or I've heard people call him booty juice. Booty juice. I've heard people say that. I would never say that about him. I would never say that, but I've heard people say that he's called Pete Booty Juice. Pete Booty Juice. Again, I would never say that, obviously. Josh Shapiro, there's a whole bunch. Raphael Warnock, blah, blah, blah. I think that the ones with the biggest names are Governor Gavin Newsom, California. I don't think he has much of a chance just because of, well, I mean, when you are just all style over substance, you've always got a chance in politics. Just look at Justin Trudeau. You know, he's just a haircut and platitudes. You know, and Newsom is kind of the same, though it just passed that bill that, I don't know, what, pro sex changes for kids bill in California. This bill where schools have to hide from parents if the kids socially transitioning at school. That's like in the swing states, you know, in the Rust Belt. Is that going to go over very well? I'm not totally sure. But there's another thing about Gavin Newsom, too. There's another thing. The man is clearly a vampire. Clearly a vampire. I mean, let's take a look. I'll present the evidence. Look, obviously the man's a vampire, right? If you're watching like some B movie, vampire movie, and then he came on the screen, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's the vampire right there. There'd be no mystery to it. Oh yeah, it's Gavin Newsom. He's a vampire. I mean, just look at him, for God's sakes. I mean, why do you think he's trying to get all those homeless people to move to California? Nobody knows who they are. They don't leave any records. If they disappear, nobody notices. Perfect for a vampire. I'm just going to say it. Newsom's very clearly eating these homeless people. You don't believe me? Well, I present this evidence right here. Now, his teeth aren't out, but they only come out when he feeds, obviously. That's obvious. Everybody knows that about vampires. Look at that face. You're trying to tell me that's not a vampire? That's not a creature of the night? Come on. I'm not buying it for 1 second. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that expression on his face. The fangs are about to come out. Joe's asking him if he can, like, bite him so that he can be immortal. And Gavin's like, no, I don't want your old blood. That's just my thoughts on it. And then you get to Gretchen Whitmer. Hate to beat a dead horse here, but does that look like a vampire to anybody? Looks like a vampire to me. I'm sorry. Man, I don't know how old she is. She could be 200 years old. She could be 500 years old. She could be 1,000 years old. She could be like a vampire from like the Egyptian pharaoh day. She could have been like an Egyptian pharaoh vampire. I don't know. I don't know how long it goes back. Well, Nevada's saying which. She does have a bit of that too, but I'm going to go with vampire. She probably got bit by him, right? I mean, just look at his face. Just look at that expression. That's not human. There's nothing human about that, right? There's nothing human behind those eyes. That's a monster. That's a creature of the night. That's somebody who devours souls. I don't know how old he is. He might be 1,000 years, 5,000 years. God knows how long. But all I know is I don't trust him. Then what do people want? What do people want? Do they want an immortal god emperor like Trump? Or a terrifying creature of the night? I know what my choice is. And I don't want to make a big deal of this. All I'm saying is that I think that probably most, if not all, Democrats and liberal leaders, you know, leftist leaders in general, are vampires. So Xerxes says, vampire hairline. Again, another piece of crucial evidence. He's not going to make Biden immortal. He wants him out of the way. And he's evil, right? So he's not going to, why is he going to help Joe? Let's see. Rumbum saying, ha ha ha, lost it when you showed his pic. Just need to put a horror filter on it. Yeah. I'll figure out how to do that someday. Noada says he does look like a vampire. See? I mean, seeing a lot of witch in the comments. Witch indeed. I mean, she could be a witch, but I just feel what's more plausible? That she's just a witch on her own, or that she got bit by this guy and now she's a vampire. I know what I think. Vampire hairline. It's true. Vampire. What more evidence do we need? Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.